Hi there. This is the first video of a series of AWS questions for the Developer Associate exam. So here comes the first question. A business makes use of continuous integration and delivery platforms. A developer now wants to automate the distribution of software packages to both EC2 instances as well as on-premise virtual machines. Which AWS service should be utilized for this purpose? Option 1, AWS Code Pipeline. Option 2, AWS Code Build. Option 3, AWS Elastic Beanstalk. Option 4, AWS Code Deploy. So I'll repeat the question again. A business makes use of continuous integration and delivery platforms. A developer now wants to automate the distribution of software packages to both EC2 instances and on-premise virtual machines. Which AWS service should be utilized for this purpose? Option A, AWS Code Pipeline. Option B, Code Build. Option C, Elastic Beanstalk. Option D, Code Deploy. So you can pause and think about it. Okay, now I'll explain what's the question and what could be the answer and what is the answer exactly. So if you think like we as a developer want to automate the process of distribution of software packages. What does this mean? This means we want to, for example, if we make any update to our application, the changes must be reflected to the instances. Instances, and what exactly mean by instances? Like we made some code change, and the changes should be reflected in the environment. So what this means? This means we have to go with something called as AWS Code Deploy. The changes we made are deployed. This is called as AWS Code Deploy. Why not other options? There is something called as AWS Code Pipeline, which is the first option, which might sound similar because pipeline is something like orchestrating the procedure, right? But it's not the deployment. The deployment is something which is done by AWS Code Deploy. AWS Code Deploy is part of AWS Code Pipeline, but it's not solely the deployment part. Like Code Pipeline is not consisting of testing, development, and deployment. It's not code build. We are not trying to build something, right? We are not trying to build the images. We are trying to want to see the actual changes. So code build is not the option. And Elastic Beanstalk is completely different one. Elastic Beanstalk means the code which we written and has to be deployed. There is no maintenance of this servers and this thing on it. So the option is answer for AWS Code Deploy.